Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamie Holmes. It was the first day back to the classroom for students at Elmira College today. Our Maggie Hall joins us from the campus and tells us how the first day went.
It's the first day of classes here at Elmira College, and I talked to some faculty and students about how it feels to be back to school.
Ethan Romano feels like this campus is made for everyone.
So honestly, I think the main thing is just that Elmira College really is a place for everybody. Like, if you choose to come here, you're going to find your place here. You're going to find your people, you're going to find your classes. You're just going to find your own place to be and make your own mark.
Director of Nurse Education Missy Volino is excited to welcome potential new future nurses looking to make their mark.
Yes, we're very excited. We just welcomed a new incoming freshman class. Nursing is an exciting field, so we always get pretty pumped up about our new freshmen.
Even sat in on a nursing class.
How about Abigail?
My colleagues and staff members, and of course the students, some of the returning students some I haven't seen in a couple of years. It's always a joy to see them, and seeing them in their senior years is very gratifying.
Wrestling coach Cody Griswold is happy to see the students back.
It's super exciting. Campus is alive again after a long summer of just coaches and professors and faculty here, so it's exciting to have everybody here on campus. We're thrilled.
Welcome back to school, students, from everyone here at Big Fox. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Elmira.
The Elmira Police Department is warning the community against the increasing presence of fentanyl in the southern tier. Chief Anthony Alvarez reports that there are more cases of fentanyl being laced with other drugs, such as heroin, cocaine, and meth. The drug has been linked to an increased number of overdose deaths in the area. The department also advises that other narcotics and marijuana could be tainted with the chemical. The EPD asks that anyone with information on tainted drugs contact their anonymous tip line. $10,000 worth of damage was caused at a local car dealership in Elmira. The Elmira Police Department has identified 5 individuals suspected of causing significant property damage to vehicles at the Elm Chevrolet dealership in Elmira. Video footage of the vandalism that took place allowed police to identify the suspects. The case is still an ongoing investigation. CongressmanElect Joe Sempolinski is set to be sworn into office this September. On September 13th, he will officially take over his term. Big Fox spoke to Mr. Sempolinski before the election and asked why he feels like he's the man for the job.
I grew up out in Gang Mills, not too far from here. I was born at the Arnett in Elmira. I'm raising my children right here. My wife is from the southern tier, so this is where I've spent my entire life. And the reason I bring that up is because what I want to accomplish is represent the people. When you stand on the floor of the House of Representatives and you cast a vote, you're speaking for about 750,000 people. In my case, I'm speaking for the 750,000 people that I care about the most, people that have given me everything, the people that I know the best.
Since the COVID-19 outbreak started in early 2020, the country's life expectancy has dropped. That's according to statistics from the CDC. And according to the numbers, New York is one of the hardest hit states. Arthur Chen has more.
The bombshell revelation from the CDC is that in the year 2020, New Yorkers were dying 3 years earlier on average, representing the largest decline in the country and dropping the state to 15th place nationwide when it comes to how long we live.
It is a phenomenal change in a year to see this kind of a change in life expectancy.
This is how it breaks down. Living 3 years less, the average life expectancy of men in New York now dropped to 77.7 years old, ranking 19th nationally. Women are doing a lot better than the men here, but their average age also dropped to 80.7 years old, 13th best in the country. The COVID-19 pandemic was the driver of this change, but academics also point out infection rates and deaths were higher in poorer neighborhoods across the city.
We see disparities between racial and ethnic groups and the white population. We also see that New York was hit early and hit very hard by the pandemic.
We knew about the overwhelmed hospitals, the discrepancy in hospital beds between Manhattan, where you had a pretty good chance of surviving if you were hospitalized in Manhattan, versus Elmhurst, Queens, where your chances were much less good.
In 2016, New Yorkers led the way, living longer lives than Americans in the rest of the country. Being active in a walking city led to a low obesity rate, coupled with a strong sense of community for seniors and an abundance of activities. Experts hope we will regain the life expectancy title before long.
The U.S. government will suspend free COVID-19 test orders next week. Starting next week, Americans will not be able to order free at-home COVID tests from a website set up by the government due to limited supply. The covidtest.gov website, set up amid the Omicron variant surge, helped U.S. households secure COVID tests at no cost. President Biden in January pledged to procure 1 billion free tests for Americans, including 500 million available through the website. However, ordering through the program will be suspended on September 2nd. According to a notification on the website, the decision was made as Congress hasn't provided additional funding to replenish the nation's stockpile of tests. A third bus carrying migrants from Texas arrived in New York City this morning. The bus arriving a few hours after two other buses carrying migrants from Texas arrived in the city earlier in the morning. The Texas governor began sending migrants out of his state to more liberal cities like New York and Washington, D.C. to bring attention to the migrant crisis affecting border states. Looking for a place to store your boat or RV this winter? The Shimon County Building and Grounds Department will begin taking reservation requests starting next week. Storage space will be available at the Shimon County Fairgrounds from October 15th to April 23rd. Space is limited and will be offered on a first-come, first-served basis. To set a reservation, you can go to the Shimon County website. Your complete workweek forecast is next. Plus, an artificial intelligence program is letting people interact with their family members after they pass away. Stay with us.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
The day started off on a hot and humid note, but that made for a perfect environment to watch those storms carry across portions of New York. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Triplett, and high temperatures did top off into those lower 90s, but then that line of storms did bring some stronger winds across portions of New York. Now, through the overnight, we are expecting a quieter atmosphere, but it is going to be a warm and uncomfortable one. We're saying that we're staying in this warm pocket as a warm front continues to lift north through the northeast. We are going to be bringing in a cold front passage on Tuesday, but that passage isn't going to occur until later into the day. So with that warm pocket, we're keeping our low temperatures lows into the lower 70s and upper 60s, where typically this time of the year we drop into the mid 50s. But this unstable and warm atmosphere is what's going to create another day of that potential strong to severe weather afternoon. So note that as we step into our Tuesday forecast, that chance for showers and thunderstorms is looking more likely for that afternoon to early evening forecast time frame. So do keep yourself weather aware, as not only do we have this line of storms that could carry through, it is going to bring that severe potential. So as of now, we are under that marginal risk. So what that marginal risk means that an isolated storm within that line of storms is going to potentially bring the potential of stronger winds, maybe some larger hail, and maybe an isolated tornado. But the main threat is going to be that line of storms bringing wind gust potential up to about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So rolling through our forecast, you'll note that the early portions of the day does remain quiet, maybe a few stray showers, but the development of those storms will happen as the heat continues to build still throughout our day on Tuesday, and then push those showers and thunderstorms mainly across central and then into eastern portions of New York up through the northeast. Now, we aren't going to see them as organized, but the threat potential is still going to be there as that front continues to push on through, with an additional half an inch of rainfall possible at least. Now, when we look at the peak wind gusts, that potential, we're also going to be dealing with stronger winds outside of the storm threat, because with that frontal system passage, we are going to fill in those stronger winds. So not only for Tuesday, but Wednesday, we'll see wind gust potential up to about 20 to even 30 miles per hour. But that is going to pull in some cooler conditions. However, with that frontal system passage happening into the afternoon, afternoon, you still have that warm air building on Tuesday, so we'll climb to those low to mid 80s. So not as warm as the 90s like we experienced today, but still going to feel that stickiness in the atmosphere as that frontal system approaches. Then once that frontal system makes its passage, much more comfortable conditions will follow in. Now we may see a few stray showers, especially across the Finger Lakes on Wednesday, but we should dry out the atmosphere and keep temperatures comfortable into the 70s, not only for Wednesday, but Thursday as well under those bright skies. Then we have a holiday weekend coming up, and that's looking very pleasant. We see that temperatures return back into the 80s, potentially even mid 80s Saturday and Sunday, before we may see a returning chance for some showers on that Labor Day forecast.
You know, losing a loved one is never easy, but a unique program powered by artificial intelligence is giving us the chance to reconnect with our departed loved ones, from saying one final goodbye to asking them what it was like growing up and more. Jackie Ibanez has the latest.
Imagine having a conversation with your loved ones after they've passed away. Well, now you can.
How did becoming a grandparent change you?
It brought immense joy into my life.
But instead of going through a psychic medium, people are getting a helping hand from artificial intelligence.
This is the authentic you. This is the video that you created, and now you're making that accessible by means of conversation for the future.
Stephen Smith is the founder and CEO of Storyfile, a program using state-of-the-art AI technology to help people connect with their relatives and friends even after they've departed.
100 years from now, and you're the great-great-great-grandparent of this person who wants to know who you are.
Storyfile lets anyone digitally record their answers to dozens of questions, which are then loaded into the program. Artificial intelligence does the rest, searching the archive of answers and playing the correct response when asked a question.
What was your hometown like?
It's so small compared to the bustling place of England.
Smith had his own mother complete a Storyfile session before her passing back in June, and maintains the AI software never falsifies a person's responses.
We do use artificial intelligence, but it's not for creating new content or putting words into your mouth.
Meanwhile, Storyfile can also be used for the living. Officials say the original idea was to let people learn more about historical figures' real-life stories, including those of 9/11 survivors.
Kids with autism hit the tennis courts with help from a nonprofit organization. Christine Russo has more on how the program did more than just help them with their serves.
Racket skills, volleys, and fist bumps. That's how the day goes with Acing Autism,
Good job, guys.
a nonprofit organization that helps kids with autism learn how to play tennis.
I like when I'm able to hit the ball and I hit it back again, and if I keep cutting the ball and hitting it back a lot of times, it's very satisfying.
The clinic specifically tailored to the kids' needs, many of whom haven't had much tennis experience.
It was brand new. It was brand new for me.
Middle schooler Thaddeus has been in the program since 2017, when he was just 6 years old.
His confidence has definitely increased. Also working on his upper body and lower body strength, which is sometimes can be difficult with kids with autism.
Well, for the first time since before the pandemic, kids are back in person. They're not only working on their tennis skills, but improving their confidence on and off the court.
Little bounce, little hit.
Trained volunteers and program directors keeping things running smoothly on the court, making sure to address each student's particular skill set.
Wow, man, wow.
There's a saying, when you meet one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. So I was trained as a parent, right on the job.
The clinic uses a visual schedule curriculum developed by parents and therapists. The purpose is to show the kids exactly what's coming next.
And that's very important for these students. They'd like to know what comes next.
The importance of having a play-based program is just fundamental to a child's development.
Program creator Richard Sperling says the program tackles a multitude of skills these kids need, like social interactions, hand-eye coordination, and is also just plain fun.
Still ahead, counteracting the pandemic's effect on teachers and students continues. A look at the unique ways your child's teacher could be helping them de-stress this school year. A 9-year-old boy is alive after being rescued from a truck that rolled into a reservoir in Utah. He was taken off life support on Friday, and on Sunday, he got to meet the retired park ranger who saved his life.
Hey, buddy.
This is Joe, bud. This is Joe.
Yeah? You remember me?
Yeah.
Can I give you a hug?
A lot of laughs, a lot of thumbs up.
Thank you so much for being a fighter.
6 days after 9-year-old Paxton was stuck in a sinking truck at the Smith and Morehouse Reservoir in Summit County, his family says he's getting better and stronger every day.
We're gonna try to get him to eat some things, drink some water, probably try to get him up as he starts to get stronger and get him outside to get him some fresh air, we're hoping.
And he got to meet the man who saved his life, a retired park ranger named Joe Donnell.
The perfect outcome to a potentially bad situation. We're talking about going fishing. In fact, we got him a fishing pole, and I said, as soon as you get out, man, we're going fishing.
Donnell just happened to be close by when the truck was rolling down the boat ramp, and he had the skills to dive in 7 times to bring Paxton back to the shore.
The father kept saying, how can I repay you? And I would just point to Paxton and say, that's all the payment I need. He's alive.
That water was cold, wasn't it? Yeah, I was really cold when I got out.
Donnell also gave Paxton a special badge he was awarded when he worked the 2002 Olympics here.
I've had it for years, and I just thought, you know what? He was saved by a park ranger. Now he's got a park ranger badge. So I just thought that was a pretty cool little gift.
Donnell's wife and daughter were at the reservoir as well when this happened, helping Paxton's family, especially his siblings, after they were pulled out safely.
So I grabbed the little girl and I took my jacket off, wrapped her in it, and just sat down on the boat ramp and held her because the little boy and the girl were freaking out.
A story that started in tragedy brought strangers together and made them like family.
The fact that Joe was there and never quit fighting to get Paxton, that was huge for our family, and Joe will forever be part of our family and his family, and we're all just so thankful and grateful for him.
Ongoing teacher shortages continue impacting schools as faculty and students are still trying to overcome the hurdles placed in their way at the start of the pandemic. But as this year's back-to-school season revs up, relaxation courses and stress management workshops are giving teachers the tools to help them help their students. Jackie Ibanez takes a closer look.
Being mindful about your mental health is all the rage this back-to-school season, with teachers and students placing an increased emphasis on combating a slew of challenges amplified by the pandemic, from anxiety to depression and more.
The things that we're seeing in the classroom are behavioral changes that we didn't see 5 or 10 years ago.
And across the country, wellness courses are providing teachers with a better arsenal of tools.
I am looking for new strategies to make the educational experience more holistic for students.
Like these workshops by a program called The Regulated Classroom, which are giving educators techniques to help them avoid feeling burned out in the wake of ongoing teacher shortages. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, roughly 300,000 teachers and school staff left the education field between February of 2020 and May of this year. And while it can look silly to clap hands and do breathing exercises, many teachers say the tips are not only helping them, but giving them new ways to help their students this fall.
It can train your brain to think differently, and I think we all need that.
Meanwhile, education officials are also keeping a watchful eye on high school seniors and incoming college freshmen.
We are seeing students extremely excited to arrive on campus, but then quickly find themselves unsure, confused, and frustrated.
Academic experts say the pandemic has caused a massive shift in student behavior surrounding higher education, prompting a growing number of students to continue delaying enrollment decisions or deferring college and going directly into the workforce.
Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. And here is the moment where we want to leave you with a smile. A Venezuelan artist found an original way to recycle plastic bottle caps. He turned them into street art. Oscar Olivares decorated a town's avenue with a more than 1,000-foot mural showing 2 macaws made of bottle caps. The picture drew both the attention and the participation of the local community. As around 500 people helped the artist stick around 300,000 bottle caps into the cement wall. Olivares is a self-taught artist who started drawing when he was a child, and he hopes his art inspires children because he says younger generations are told in Venezuela that art is ignored. I'm Harriet Wallace. Thank you so much for watching.